Focus Up Show every Saturday, 9 a.m.
Tap in or tap out. Here we go, fellas, ladies. How are y'all doing this Saturday morning?
Good,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Yeah,
Top
That's
of the
right,
top.
Mr.
What's
X.
good?
Mr. X, Mr. X. How you doing this morning, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. You know, we had the Friday night live last night. We went live and we saved some lives last night. Stay home and drink with us. Don't get on that road. So, you know, we had a good time. It was all good.
It was a
That's what's
great
up.
show. Hey, I love that show. I say this all the time. Hey, I didn't drink and drive, and I'm still alive.
That's right.
I'm wired still, though. I'm wired from last night. I'm
That's
drinking
right.
water.
There you
Yep.
go. There you go.
Focus
Air it
up.
out. First Lady J, how are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you. How are you fellas doing?
Doing
Great.
all right.
Cannot complain. Woke up this morning.
Word.
Mr. El Poo.
Yes, sir. We hanging over. Yeah. We up in here though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's all
That's
good.
what's up. That's what's up. Well, I appreciate y'all joining us this morning for the Focus Up Show. We're about to start off in our topics. Um, let's run it right into it. We're gonna do the who has it harder in society, men or women. We're gonna revisit this topic. Got a lot of kickback from it, so let's
Yeah,
run it.
we had a lot of people on the Facebook page that we had a thread going. A lot of people was very interested in this topic. Who has it harder, men in society, men or women? I stated where I'm at. I'm still in the same position as last week. I say women have it harder. It's a lot harder for women out here in society. Period. So, but I'm gonna let y'all rock. We were supposed to have a few guests, but they turned out to be some chicken nuggets.
Word, word, word. Shit. I think men have it harder because we the ones that got to deal that fight the world and we protect our women. Um, we got to fight, get out there and, you know, be on top of it. And we're the one that put up with the stresses of the world. We got the whole weight of the world on our shoulders. So, you know, I think we got it harder. Let's real quick, let's bring on our guest. He finally made it here. Big Cuz. Welcome to the show, Big Cuz.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Okay.
Top of the morning.
Let me brief you real quick. We on the
Oh,
subject.
Pooh here. What's going on, Pooh?
Hey, what's going on,
Oh
bro?
man, J2. Oh man, y'all done brought out the ball, man. Y'all done put out all the stops.
Yes, sir.
This is why we asked our guests to come on early so we could get the lighting. Right now, you got a whole big window wide open behind you, so you just look like a black silhouette to us.
Oh man, okay.
Put some drawers on it.
Let them get that sorted out. We're gonna bring you back on when you get that sorted. Oh damn. All right. But yeah, men got it harder. Men got it harder. We got to fight. Men got to fight. Protect the women. But who we at? Who at? What you at on the El Poo?
I still stand the same way. If a woman's out here in the working world, she gonna have it harder because of just being a woman, because of everything a woman has to go through. But if a woman stayed, well, I don't want to say it like that, but society has changed over the last half century. It used to be a time when men got out there in the world and women stayed home, raised the kids, and was domestic, took care of the household and everything. And that's what it was. But now women want to be out there and be as equal to a man, and they're going to have it harder because we got a head start, number one. That's just what it is.
Hmm.
And maybe you shouldn't be trying to compete with a man.
Facts. Oh, I like that.
Word.
Yes. Yes. Stay in your place. That's why they have it harder, because they are trying to compete. And women are more vulnerable in society. Women are more likely to get hurt or killed by men, putting themselves even in positions of going on dates. It's a vulnerable situation. They have it harder just because they're actually not playing their role that they, in my opinion, that they should be playing. So they're actually out here trying to compete and trying to act like they guys. You're not.
Facts.
First Lady J. Let's go.
Ooh, why did y'all say these things last week? I see why there's some revisitation going on. I'm gonna speak for myself right now on this. I don't think there's a competition as far as myself. I think it's the fact that I don't want to depend on a man. Therefore, I get my butt out there and I work regardless of what job it is. It's not about competing against men for me. It's about me being able to take care of myself and hold it down for myself. We all know nothing last forever. So if I'm not working, I'm not out there doing what I need to do, and I'm relying on my man, and he ups and decides that he wants to go and leave, what do I have for myself? So for me, it's not about competition, but I absolutely understand what you guys are saying. But hands down, women have it harder, in my opinion. Like I said last week, we're the backbone. Even if we are stay at home, if you go out there and you work and you have it hard, referring to men, and we're at home attending to the kids, cooking or whatever, and you had a stressful day, we got to be there and be your queen and keep our king uplifted too. So we have the world on our shoulders just as much as you guys do, but I still feel like we have it harder, all the way down to bearing children alone. I don't want to go on too long because I stand by what I said last week as well. But I'm not in competition with no man. I just don't like being dependent.
Okay.
Because
Well, my and I understand what you said there, Lady J, and things like that. But I was looking down trying to find a verse in the Bible. Not that I was trying to make it biblical or anything like that, but in the Bible, paraphrasing, women were created to help man and things like that, because man came first, and then there was a rib thing, okay, and the woman was created to be a companion to the man and to help him. Uh, we You have to go back to the 60s on what happened to the so-called black race and things like that, because back then, what 80% of the so-called black households had a man in it, and then they came with the welfare. Welfare was started in the 1930s during the Great Depression to help so-called white people that were starving and things like that. It was not extended to the so-called black family, well, to the so-called black woman, until the 60s, where then she could not have a man in the house. And this is, in my opinion, so-called white man engineering to break up the black family. So now, and I'll speed up. So when welfare was given, uh, a woman saw the so-called black man in a different light, because they're saying, "Hey, well, this white man is doing everything for me." And then that's where the so-called black woman started disrespecting the so-called black man, saying you can. So now, fast forward to today.
Come on, land that plane, man. Land that plane.
Okay. Yeah. And what it is, and I think that right now we live in a society where the so-called black woman has been programmed to not like the black man, and they have a reputation of being loud, aggressive.
So who has it harder, man? We're not going to attack the black women. Who has it harder, brother?
Oh, who has it harder?
Yeah.
So-called black man, of course.
The black man has it harder.
Okay.
Yes. And the reason they have it harder is what?
The Bible.
The Bible say so?
No. I'm talking about the things that are going around you. I left the Bible alone. I went to the welfare in the 60s.
So they have it harder because they got welfare.
No, I think he's saying we have it harder because, like Lady J was saying, women don't want to be dependent on a man, and they don't have to be because they can get that welfare. I don't need you. In other words, they can say, I don't need you.
Yeah, because the white man's got my back. You know.
And that make it
But
harder.
that's not my thought because
Well,
I'm not one for depending on welfare. I don't have a problem getting
That's
out
your
there.
thought. That's not your thought. I'm just saying, but some women, as far as not being dependent on a man, women don't have to be dependent on a man. That's what I'm saying.
True.
I for myself, I would say the obstacles that both parties have to go through to survive. Me being a black man, I can only speak on the struggles I went through, and from me seeing the struggles that my sisters went through as a woman, I could see a lot more manipulation, and as a man, I could see a lot more strong arming. You know what I mean? As far as we have to take or use force, most likely, of what we want to get. Females, they manipulate it to get it. You know what I mean? Not saying they don't get it any other way, but at the same time, me as a black man, I would say, black men do have it harder, when it comes to just moving around, period.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I missed the topic of this show. I thought the topic of the show was why do black men not choose black women? Am
No,
I
that's
mistaken?
wonderful. We have a variety of topics we speak on. We started with who has it harder in society.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay.
next one coming up is the one you're talking about. So
Okay. Okay.
hang tight. Hang tight there, Mr. Tony. you ready to go, huh? You ready to go?
All right, y'all. So,
But yeah,
so we wrapping it up on this topic. We done, squeezing this topic out or what?
Yeah.
All right, so we gonna rock and roll with this next topic. Oh, why are black men avoiding black women?
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
I answer that with a question. Are black men avoiding black women? Because I know I don't avoid black women, and I don't see a bunch of black men out here avoiding black women. Where do we see this at?
you said, I mean, statistically speaking, black men are more likely to marry outside of their race than any other race of men. And it goes for a number of stereotypical reasons. Because black women are said to be loud, aggressive, disrespectful. I mean, there's a laundry. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard them.
Before we move forward, cite your source. Where you get that from? That black men are statistically more likely to date outside their rights. Where'd you get that from?
Hold on.
No, ain't no holding on. It's Focus Up Show.
You want the facts. Go ahead, Mr. Walk.
Here's my thing. Like what I'm seeing, especially with a bunch of younger guys, because even one of my sons, both of them maybe, they talk about black women in a bad light. And I get where they're coming from when they say that, oh, women are loud and they're ghetto. Like I remember there was an incident here at my house when my son was outside playing basketball, and we heard these chicks coming before we seen them. They lived down the street, and my son ran in the house, and he said, "Don't tell them I'm here." And they came straight to the house, like, "Where's Cordero at?" I was like, "I don't know," but they was ghetto and loud as hell. And then they went back down the street. You heard them walking off. You heard them. Now I understand that because that can be kind of like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. I get it, but I'm more than like of you got to stay with your own people because they understand you, and others as far as different races, they had them same conversations with their child. Stay with your own race. You cannot imagine a Jewish guy or an Italian guy that's like, don't mind seeing this big black guy walk in the house with his daughter. You cannot tell me that he's cool with it like that.
Okay. Hey, First Lady J, do you feel like you being avoided by black men? Are black men avoiding you?
I don't feel like I'm being avoided, but I do see a lot of black men dating outside of their race, and it raised a red flag. And if you ask them, you pretty much hear the same statement because made about black women being loud and aggressive. And I wonder if the black men ever asked the question why. What supposedly made the black woman behave that way? Also, it's not just black women that are loud. If you look, a lot of other cultures are following our traits from the music to the way we dress to our hairstyle. So, is it that some black men want um the other culture, but they're still getting us, sort of say, because some of these women are going to have the plastic surgery to get fuller lips, to get their butts bigger. So, do you really want the other culture, or do you want a black woman and you just want her to keep her mouth shut? I don't feel like, me personally, that I'm being avoided, but I feel like there are a lot of black men out there dating outside their race. I'm not racist, to each his own, but it's already a shortage on men as it is.
Uh-huh.
So we need our black brothers to come for us.
So
I
go ahead.
know, like me out here dating. I don't date like ghetto ass broads and stuff like that. I will hit, but I don't take them serious. And like we're not going out. The date is slide through. That's the date.
Right.
Want some watermelon? You want a beer? Okay, to the bedroom. But as far as like someone you taking serious, it really depends on you as a person. Like, I don't really deal with ghetto ass bras like that, with big ass mouths and talking s like they a guy or something. Because I don't hit chicks either, and I'm not gonna just put myself in a situation where I might have to strangle somebody. So I don't, and I do understand why some men, brothers that's doing well off in life, that they just not gonna tolerate it, not gonna put up with it. I know a few cats that do not date sisters. I know a few cats for those reasons.
Yeah, I was kind of thrown when I saw a lot of brothers like athletes that, act black or, listen to the same type of music, this and that. Then next thing you know, they show a picture of him. He's standing up there next to somebody else, other race than ours, right? And I do understand, and it is a issue when it comes to dating our sisters or our sisters acting in that manner. Um, you say, does it come from home? You know what I mean? And if it does come from home, why is it coming from the home in that type of fashion where females want to be competitive with their spouses? I don't get that part. Not being disrespectful, but the man in the relationship supposed to wear the pants, and that meaning, not saying when the buck stops here, the buck stops here. Meaning when things go bad, he gonna have to step out on the front line. She gonna sit back there and wait for him to do his thing. So therefore, it should be, some type of respect when it comes to conversation and not being aggressive when it comes to dialoguing in a relationship. And that's the main issue, man. That kind of gets the relationship going left, because the communication always breaks down.
So let's
Okay, I just noticed there, like Tracy Taylor, men that can't handle black women tend to be weak. What when
Mm,
women say that, what do they actually mean by handle? How are you supposed to handle a black woman? I mean,
yeah.
you know, what, you put them in a headlock? I mean, what does that mean? I mean, why do you have to handle a woman? You see what I'm saying? Can somebody answer that for me?
Sister said,
Well, me being a woman, I don't use the term handle me because I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean, but
Um,
this is Tracy Taylor. I'm
I,
just what.
what I think what she means by the comment is like, can't deal with that mouth, deal with them
Yeah.
talking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
See, and that's where the black women get it twisted.
if you can't
This
deal
Hmm.
is
with that mouth, you weak. Is what she
Right.
said.
Well,
You weak.
well, okay, let's go to Lady J.
What your
What
ass
do you think?
out, nigga? You're weak. You're a weak man. You're
Okay,
a weak.
well, Lady J, what were you saying, Lady J?
I was just saying that I don't use the word handle, but I clearly understand what Tracy was saying. But the number one question is, where the heck are these men picking these women from for them to be loud, hood, and ghetto? So, are you picking them out the club? Are you picking them out the hood? Where are you getting these women from? That's mouthing to you, or that's too much, or bopping their head, or standing up to you. There's a different meaning to standing up to a man, or talking back. And I feel like me as a woman, period, I'm going to defend myself and stand up for myself. I'm going to respect my man. I'm not going to be popping off at the mouth talking crazy. We're both adults, and I know how to act accordingly. I'm gonna walk like a lady, talk like a lady, and think like a lady at all times. I don't have to be hood and ghetto with it. I know how to turn a switch off and on as well. And it saddens me that so many people are judgmental about Black women. It's like they put us all in the same category as being loud and being ghetto and this and that. But that's not the case, because we can go the same route about men if that was the case. But it's not. It's the individual. It's the
It is.
person. So
It
Yeah,
when you go to pick your apple off the tree, which apple are you picking?
yeah, yeah. And I understand what you're saying, and I think that because I hear that about, say, so-called Black people. I mean, Black people have this reputation of being uh,
aggressive.
bad, dangerous, and things like that. And there are bad people in every race. And I mean, to your point, like they're bad women, they're good women, and things like that. But it's just
But
what?
Lady J said, "Where are Black men going to meet these hood ghetto chicks?" I'll tell you, Regency West in Lamert Park, in the townhouse, full of them, full of them.
We're talking about
Listen,
cover
let me
art.
tell you, like I have met a few. Like, listen, I was out here dating and everything like that, and I'm telling you, uh there's a lot of women that you meet where they come off as real cool, down to earth, and then once you get to talk to them, you basically going to reveal who you really are, and it be a turnoff. That's why I say I understand where some Black men come with that mentality that they're not going to deal with it, because I've seen it firsthand, but I gotta achieve the mission.
Some Black men have high expectations. Some just want a woman that's like a robot, and they just order them around and do whatever they say. They don't want their women to defend themselves or talk back. It's just they want a yes sir type of woman. Just be submissive all the way, and with a zipper on their mouth.
That's a
I
dumb.
don't think
That's a
I don't think that that's what the Black man is looking for. I think it comes
Right.
to a point in
What
the
is the Black
Speak
relationship.
for
man
your,
looking for?
speak for
Because the Black
yourself,
man
JC.
keeps complaining.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
what is
just
the
saying.
Black man looking for? What
I'm
are
just
you
saying.
looking for as a Black man?
Not just the aggressiveness. When it comes to communication, communication always breaks down because one party always gets aggressive when it comes to cursing. I think we could communicate without using curse language. That's what escalates communication anyway. When the cursing comes into play, then things start going left, and it's not easy when you're having a heated conversation with your spouse. It's hard to keep the curse language out, but I think that's where the respect lies.
Let me let's get Big Cousin to this conversation, and don't quote none from the Bible or your watermelon. Um, just just speak from your heart. So, what are you looking for in a woman? Do you date Black women, or how do you feel?
I have dated Black women and things like that, and to Lady
You know we
J's
know you though.
point
You
there,
know we do know you. Go ahead.
to what Lady J said, I don't think that we should confuse submissiveness with being oppressed and things like that. I mean, I'm not saying that a woman should follow a fool, and things like that. But now let the man be the man in the relationship. And that, but it's just been my experience that I've seen women buck up against guys over a lighter, something as small as that. And then, to what JC was saying earlier, uh, for some reason, I kind of get the impression when he was talking that black couples can't communicate without cursing at each other and things like that. And I want to hit the point that being submissive doesn't mean that you're being ran over. You guys understand what I'm saying? No?
Compromising. It's called compromising.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, but I just think that a negative connotation is put on the word submissive to your man. And it doesn't mean being a robot.
It's okay to be submissive to your man, though. But there are a lot of men that just want their woman to be quiet, watch their football, drink their beer, go to work, come home, have sex, whatever, say what they have to say, and not listen to their woman. Or as soon as their woman open their mouth, they have an issue. They think that the woman is ready to argue, ready to buck at them. That's not always the case. No, it's not always the case.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like me, I've got to a point. I've done been through relationships where I done argued and all this stuff. It's kind of hard to get me in that mode in a relationship. I'm not going there. I close the door on you. I hang up the phone. I block your number because I'm not doing it. But women always try to challenge black women. That's all I deal with is black women, and they always want to challenge you. You're like, just shut the F up and do what I say, which you said earlier. But I do want that. Just shut the hell up and just do what I said.
That's not fair. And I think that's where the misunderstanding comes, where you guys feel like a black woman is, trying to attack. You guys don't want black women to vocalize how they feel. And JC, I have to disagree with you because every conversation does not involve a cuss word. Every argument does not involve cuss words.
How many black
I'm
women
sure
have
there
you
are
dated,
full-blown Christians that are saved that have gotten into argument, and I can't see where they're just like cussing, attacking each other in an argument.
When it comes to spouses, not friends or anything like that.
I get what you're referring to. I've been in some arguments and I didn't have to use not one cuss word. Well, voices may elevate or whatnot. What I'm saying to you guys, all of us black women are not the label or the jacket that you guys are throwing on us. There are some good black women out there. You guys are letting the bad outweigh the good. There are a lot of us that are still out there good. And I'm going to be that black woman that stands up for myself. I'm not going to disrespect my man. I'm not going to disrespect him behind closed doors. I'm not going to disrespect him in public. But I do want him to hear my voice and understand where I'm coming from. See, we don't have to agree, but hear me out.
You speaking for yourself. Like I'm sure you know some women that we're speaking of.
I said I understand from the beginning. I get what you guys are saying. I understand it. I see it, but that doesn't mean
that's too much. Sorry.
Everyone is like that, And like you said, like you may start off getting to know a person, and then as time go on, you like, what the heck? It's like reading a book. You open that book and you found it interesting by the title. So once you open it, you start reading, you realize you don't like it. You close that book and go on to the next.
See, okay, let me give an example. I remember I had a situation where I went down to LA with a young lady. It was a baby shower. She does not know the city. I know the city. She said it's somewhere off of Normandy and Imperial Freeway. I know that neighborhood. So we get down there, but the address is off. Then she ended up double backing all the way to Hollywood and was cussing me out, telling me I don't know my city. So then I was saying the whole time, I said, look, this address got to be wrong. We going north and south. This is wrong. She ended up using the GPS to weigh. We by the Hollywood freeway and all that. So what ended up happening when she called her, the girl was like, "Oh, I forgot. It was not 1-1, is 111 such and such on the north and south." And she felt stupid and didn't even apologize. Because I just shut down. Like, I was so upset. She was, and I was like, I wanted to just get out the car and go to the homie house because one of my cats live around over there in that neighborhood. So, but she didn't even apologize. So see, it's certain situations where you're dealing with our sisters who I love, but and then they come with that stuff, and it really just turns you off straight up.
But the good thing about you, you don't give up on the sisters.
Never.
So
Where my horn at? Do I get a horn for that?
Yeah, and I have to I have to go back to in my younger days, being stupid. I bought into the and Lady J, you're right. There are a lot of wonderful so-called black women out there. I in my younger days I bought into the they're loud. Well, I saw a lot of it. They're loud, disrespect. All the stereotypes that go along with it, and that's why, like when Jason said earlier, have I ever? I mean, a lot of my people, when I say my people, my relatives, think that I have never dated within my race, and I have, and things like that. But I guess in the back of my mind, it was always, oh man, at some point they're gonna get loud, they're gonna get disrespectful, they're not gonna be discreet, and things like that. And that's why I was like, I'll stay over here. And that was just my stupidity. There are a lot of wonderful black women out there. That's true. And I'm just putting that on the record.
What
well, we have different flavors for a
say?
reason.
He gave up on sisters over 30. I ain't mad at him.
And before we close out, can I say one thing about this topic? First off, I never had a serious relationship with anything other than a black woman. And number two, I just know what black women to avoid. I had the experience, and that's all I got to say.
There you go. And this topic, wait, let me say this. Let me put this out. We were supposed to have a few guests. Like I'm trying to. I really kind of didn't want to tackle this, but because it's on here, which is great. But it's a young white lady who's a Caucasian, so-called white lady, I guess. So-called white lady who's supposed to come on the show, but she canceled on me again. Stop being a chicken nugget. See, y'all want to voice your opinion? Won't you come on the show? Voice your opinion. Because we put these topics on the Facebook page, Twitter, and the Instagram. And y'all got a lot of comments to say. Come on the show, speak on it. Let's go. Let's roll on to the next.
And just right quick, when you hear me say so-called black, so-called white, I've had this conversation a lot of times with Jason. Pooh, he's heard me a few times. I say that we're not black. We're different shades of brown. I mean, a lot of people don't remember that brown is a dark color, just like black and things like that. So I say we're not. And then with white, we all know a white piece of paper. We've never seen a white person look like a white piece of paper. That's why I say so-called, because we're not black and they're not white.
Yeah, we understand. But Africans are black, and we put a little cream in it. That's when we get us. All right, now let's go ahead.
All right, y'all. So with that being said, we're gonna do some shout outs right quick. Homies Way Car Club, Tunnel Vision, Black August Studios, Wukusu, Disney Magical Adventures, La Brea Trucking, and Kilo 2 Nola J. You can follow their music on all music platforms. And Muhammad Meets. Appreciate y'all tapping into the Focus Up show.
Hey,
Continue
check the
to like and share.
Yep. I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Lil Soda. He got a new project out. Godzilla Orangutan. That's my boy.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right. You got any shout outs, Mr. Walk, this weekend?
I just did it.
Oh, no more for that's the only one this weekend, huh? All right. All right. We're gonna move
Hey,
on. Appreciate
hold
y'all
on.
liking and sharing
Here you go. Here you go, JC. You get the water
that's
Yeah,
what's
belly.
up. So well, I'm thinking you're gonna put the
I think he
baby
was
mama in there this
distracted
weekend. You leaving her out 2 weekends in a row, huh?
by the watermelon.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
Mr. JC, we got a potential guest. I went over to check on the Facebook, and he was commenting in the Facebook. So since we can't get him, the Facebook's comments over here, let me go ahead and read them real quick. This is from Mr. Born Allah Banks. This is what the brother said. Let me see. But you will submit to, no. The problem is, especially with Christian black women, they refuse to submit even when their scriptures tell them to do so.
Mm.
That's from Brother Born Allah Banks. Hopefully he'll click on that link and join the show and explain that comment, because I know we got some Christian sisters out here watching that say, what? What did he say?
Sweet Daddy Grace.
Yeah.
But actually, the Bible does say that a woman is supposed to be, like I said earlier, supposed to be a help to her man and things
Helpmate.
like that. And don't mistake submission for being a robot.
Right, or being weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that is the key to a healthy relationship?
Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah.
And
Mm.
why? Because I think we've already said that uh, in order for a man to feel like I think a lot of times so-called black men don't feel that the so-called black woman has their back. They feel that she may at any moment flip out and say, "You ain't no man. You can't handle a real woman. You can't handle." Well, the stereotype that go along with the unjust stereotype that go along with so-called black women. And that's my point. I think that if women were to go ahead, like the comment Floyd read, if they were to play their position and be a help to the man, I think that the so-called black race would be a lot further than it is now.
Listen, once a woman show you who she is, believe her the first time.
Here you walk. Here you walk.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Here
That,
you
that,
walk.
that goes with
So
when a person
women
tells
don't get a
you they
second
are.
chance.
But check this out.
I just feel like go ahead, what?
Oh, I've dealt with so-called Mexicans, so-called white girls, so-called Chinese, and so-called black women. They all tired of my black ass, so-called black ass. That's what they all got in common. It's me.
Well, my thing is, I feel like we came from the man's rear, from his side. We're supposed to walk by his side, not behind him, not in front of him, but on the side of him, with him.
Right,
That's just
right,
me.
right. Because I mean, in the scripture, I keep going back to it. It says that a man is supposed to love his woman as he loves himself, and which goes along with what you're saying, Lady J. That the woman is supposed to be by his side and not behind it, and things like that, not 10 feet in front of it, and
Let's
Right.
things like.
wrap this. Let's wrap this up. Because we gotta. We
Go
All
gotta.
right,
ahead,
y'all.
Slim.
So
Yeah.
we're
We
gonna
got a juicy topic.
move on to our next topic. Should absentee parents receive praise after their child's success?
Mm. Who kicking this
Well,
off?
I'm gonna say something because when I thought of this topic, I was thinking about men and women, especially dads that are the fun dads, what I call the fun dads. What I mean by that, you have some dads and some women, but on this one, I would say more the dads on what made me think of this topic. You have the fun dads that want to buy Jordans, that want to buy video games, want to buy the things that they know their kid, especially their son's, going to be like, oh, yeah, that is wonderful. But they're not spending time with the child. Mom is doing everything from the sports to running to the school, from clothing. paying the bills with them. So when that child is excelling in life, then that parent want to pop up on the scene like, oh yeah, I was there the whole time. You were either absent or you were just there for the fun stuff. You just want to supply money for video games or $200 Jordans, things of those nature. So that's what I have a problem with. Like, you don't deserve to just pop up on the scene for being absent or just being a fun parent. You know, you should have
I,
been. Go ahead.
like I've seen this over and over again. I've seen this. I got a cousin in L.A. I know people who go through this. Like the parent, they're there with the child. They're paying for everything. You don't hear nothing from the father. And I don't want to just say it like that because I went through this with my first baby mother as well. Like to where I did everything, and didn't ask her for anything. But I've seen this. And then when that child succeeds, excels and go to college, that's when that parent come around like, look at my boy. He's a college graduate and you didn't participate one bit in none of that. So that's where you don't deserve praise. You at the graduation like, yeah, look at my boy. You know, I'm telling you, I could put some people out there. I've seen this. I got a cousin. I think you know her, Mr. Tony, who went through that same type of situation. So, you know, but I don't think they deserve praise, but they will accept the accolades. You know.
I think
Yeah.
like you could probably use like Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he didn't grow up with his biological father,
Right.
and then well, I think he calls him Sarge or something like that, and he views him as more of a father than his biological. I mean, you know, Sarge, he got to play good cop, bad cop. You know, when Shaquille messed up, you know, he got on his back. When he did good, he was with it,
Definitely.
then you know.
He even wrote a song about it called "Biological Didn't Bother." Shaquille O'Neal has a rap song called "Biological Didn't Bother." He put out, I think it came out like what was that? 96, 7. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that if you're not there, I don't think that you should get the accolades or the credit that goes along with that child's success.
yeah, it's not fair. It's
Have
not
no
fair
influence
when you
over which direction that kid went. That's just my opinion.
Right.
yeah, it's not fair. You put in all that time with the child, and then the parent comes out of nowhere, and like y'all say, gets the flowers for the kid's graduation and all that, gets all the benefits of acting like they were in the child's life. But at the same time, what do you do if the child wants the parent there?
Yeah.
If the child wants the parent there, of course, the average parent is not going to be sour and bitter because that's something that the kid is going to hold against them forever. So you gotta grant that child's wish because the average kid loves both of their parents and want both of their parents in their life regardless. Then you have numerous of children that feel like you weren't there. I don't want you there. But when a child wants the parent involved, you gotta put everything aside and let that child have that wish.
But but I guess because I was going to ask, what about the flip side of that? What if we'll say, which is most case, we'll say mother. What if the mother is
So-called
still
mother.
sour about the breakup and things like that, and makes it difficult for that father to be a part of that kid's life? What about that?
It happens a lot, and unfortunately, that's sad because the mother needs to put herself in those shoes. Would she want to be treated like that? I know I wouldn't want to be treated like that. I can dislike the father of my children, whatever the case, but I'm not going to use my personal feelings or my emotions, how I feel, and rob my children of having that relationship or letting their dad be involved in their life, especially when a man wants to be involved in the child's life. You don't deny that, no, because of your own personal reason. Life goes on. Get over it. don't do your child wrong, because in the end, when that child is old enough and they will one day understand who really was at fault or who really was the sour puss, then they're going to have a problem with you. I don't want that on me. I can't speak for every woman out there, but I don't think it's right for a male or female to be that way just because you had a bad breakup or you dislike that person. That's up to that child to like their parent or love their parent. So let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. I think.
Can we get to this
Oh.
concept though? All your parents are still your parents. Still allow life to contribute to, even late in the game. I agree with that 100%. But here's another side of it too. What if the parent was away for different reasons, in jail, in a different state, something like that, and just
Or
couldn't
in jail in a different state.
either way, you know? But the point is, what if the parent just wasn't there because, say for instance, you live in California and they live in Florida, and they just wasn't that involved. That's just what it is because it's just not there. What can you do about that?
The
Hey,
parent has a choice to be involved, though,
I mean, summer
regardless
trip,
of what
summer trip.
state you're in. You know, if you want to be actively involved in your child life, it does not matter what state you live in.
Yep.
If you want it, you go for it and you get it. If you want those Jordans, you're going to go get it. You're going to choose Jordan over life insurance. So why not choose your child over taking a trip?
Hey, real quick, let me bring in our special guest. We got Mr. Born Allah join us on the show. Welcome to the show, Mr. Born Allah. How you doing today, brother?
Peace, man. Y'all put me
Sweet Daddy Grace.
I had to go to makeup and stuff, man. Y'all sent me the link to come on right now. I was like, right now, hold up. I had to run the makeup real quick on you.
Hey, which topic did you want to address?
Well, I wanted to address kind of like the thing that I put in there because I know y'all probably have gone on from where I was at earlier when I was speaking about the submission piece, because I think a lot of male-female relationships, especially in the Black family, really that's the cornerstone of it. And I know it may sound a little I guess mannish or double standard in saying that, but let me explain, because even the scriptures tell you to submit. And what the sisters is that you guys are supposed to submit to something great. We're not telling you to submit to no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Don't submit to something below you. Don't submit to something that's beneath you, something that you know better, that you was taught better. Don't submit to that. I'm not telling you to submit to that. I'm telling you to submit to that greatness, that man that you see and has all those points that you're looking for in a great man. If you find that, why not submit to that? Why not submit to that when you find that greatness? So it's a couple of layers to it. It's like you have to go out as a sister and search for these things and these potentials within a man. But when you find them, submit to that. Why continue to challenge that when you found that greatness? And that's really the key. Even your scripture tell you to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's really what it's about, because with us, it's like everything shouldn't be a challenge in relationship. That's where it comes in. That's where the difficulties come in, where every time that something comes out of my mouth, you're challenging it. You know what I'm saying? I'm challenged enough out in the street, let alone in my own home. If the man is the lead, allow him to lead. And I think a lot of times those are the issues. And then sisters will question the leadership based upon if she's getting her way or not. So these things that we really have to factor in. But I think if sisters, especially Black Christian sisters, and I'm not a Christian, but I think that you guys, if you really get into your scripture and really understand what your scripture is saying, you'll find you'll probably end up agreeing with me. But the key is that I'm not telling the sisters to submit to no nonsense. Submit to that greatness. Submit to all those qualities that you're looking for in a man. But when you find it, allow him to lead.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well deserved.
Hey, thank you for that, Mr. Born Allah. We look forward. We want to have you on future shows and future topics. If you just stay tuned in, we appreciate your wisdom, brother.
No question, man. Get at me, man. This right here is alley. I love, the subject matter. I love the content. These brothers, you got brothers on here, man. I grew up with Walk JC, like, we go back to like the sandbox, my dude. Like, for real, playing marbles in the dirt type stuff. So that even the sister Jeanette, I grew up with her as well. So I love the subject matter. I love the content. I think this is always going to be good for us, man. As long as we're inside in some type of dialogue, man, we'll always be great potential. But I love it, man. Get at me, man. I would love to come on, man, on any subjects you guys are dealing with, especially with the family structure and things of that nature. That is something that I have a strong opinion about that I would love to voice.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you,
All right.
Yes, sir.
He pretty much summed it up, the challenge that we constantly receive. And I do understand when he said, don't submit to people that's making bad decisions. If you see your partner making bad decisions, no, I wouldn't listen to him either. You know what I mean? But if you see him making good decisions and he making good moves out there in the streets, yeah, you should, give him the benefit of the doubt and go with his word, unless his word tends to fall on deaf ears and it doesn't mean anything.
Yes, sir. Agreed. So we moving on?
Yes, sir. We got another topic we finna try to tackle right quick, man. And here we go. My fellas are here. Baby, can you disappear?
Yeah, this kind of coincides with what we was just talking about. See, a lot of that challenging. I'm gonna speak for me personally. I never really had to deal with this because a lot of women I deal with, they kind of know their role. Like if I got my guys around, I'm gooned up. There's no reason for my lady to come through wearing the short shorts or just to be around anyway, for any reason. So go in the room, even though it's your house. This was on an Instagram, a post that was put up on Instagram where a guy was like, he was in the living room with his guys, they was talking, and then this chick just come out of nowhere and just sit down, and it was awkward. And he like, yo, I'm here with the fellas. Like, go in the room. And she was like, this my house. This my house. Okay, we know that, but you have no purpose being here right now amongst my fellas. I don't like that. I'm not with that.
So she was inappropriately addressed. She was inappropriately dressed.
Not inappropriately dressed. She did have some spandex, but even if she wasn't, it was really no reason to be there.
Well,
That be like
yeah. She just said she added a little extra of not a reason not to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're not going to be dressed modestly, why are you spandex down, in front of my boys and things like that, and then try to sit amongst us, even
if she had a church dress on. If you
Right.
chilling with your boys in the living room and your wifey comes out the bedroom and just comes to post up.
Yeah.
But here's the real problem. It's my house.
Right.
That's the
well,
problem.
Yeah.
See, and that goes back to, because she did say that, and that goes back to the disrespect and things like that. Her coming out there with the boys, stating her position in the house. I run, and that is the breakdown of the so-called black structure.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he said anything disrespectful to her. You know what I mean? When it came to him asking her, can she, evaporate the living room? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same time, she came off the dome with saying, this is my house. And I think that was kind of uncalled for because she's.
Yeah, it was. And
right. I remember a situation like even with my first wife. It was like I'm in the living room. I'm with my fellas. We in there talking, man, drinking, and she was in the room. She beat me like, can you give me? And I went in the room and she was like, can you give me something to drink? Because she didn't want to come out. See, that's what I'm saying. But I've seen it where chick is around and just coming, trying to hang with us. Not nobody I deal with, but I've seen it with other people, and to me, it's kind of inappropriate. Stay with the women, guys stay with the guys. Because when a female was interacting with her friends, I don't just come out there like I'm gonna sit down and chill on the couch while y'all here running y'all mouth. I think it's inappropriate.
I agree.
I guess I will speak. I I'm gonna be honest. As far as myself, the first thing I will do is show hospitality. I'll offer food or drink, and then I'm removing myself from the scene. I am going to offer my hospitality. That's just me. I'm not trying to be there, be in your face. I'm going to see if you want something to drink or food. And I'm staying in my space. I'm going to let you have your space. I do feel like women need to just leave the scene and let the men be men. Even if you leave the house, I don't care. Just stay out of their space. And you want your man to pretty much do the same thing. The video, the lady was definitely out of line by yelling that it's her house. I'm not sure if they live together, even if they don't. You know, you treat your king like a king because you want to be treated like a queen. If you allowing him to have company at your house, you
Allow
know, what I mean by if they don't live together, the video didn't
it.
say if they, live together or whatnot, because she was yelling it's her house. So I don't know if he's just visiting and he have his friends over, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, if you allow him to have that, then don't be yelling, it's my house, my house. Let him act like it's his house too. If you gotta holler, it's my house, then you don't need to live together. So let him be a king, let him be the man of the castle, even if it's for that moment. Don't disrespect. I don't want to be disrespected. I'm not gonna disrespect my guy. So I'm gonna remove myself from the scene. I'll just offer my hospitality. You say no at that point when you are ready, you ask him for it because I already offered. And I'm removing myself from the scene.
That just
But
go
I think
back
that
to
goes
a
back to what
female
I was
playing
talking
her
about earlier.
position.
I think that goes back to when I was talking about earlier about the welfare and things like that, to where it moved the black man out of the house. So now, what I see a lot of times is there are a lot of fellas that do kick it with their girl that's living, Section 8 or whatever, and things like that. So I think that a lot of times, I'm thinking something else. You guys go ahead and stuff, but
Yeah,
I
but
think that
what you
so-called black
smoking?
people
What you smoking over there, Tasha? What was that? What was that? Hey,
And me
let's
personally, I don't want to stick around.
huh?
I personally don't want to stick around.
Well, we had a comment as well. What Terry? Did I just see? I don't care if they stick around as long as nothing said. The fellas get used against me later. I've never stuck around.
Right.
I mean, like, this is my
I
house.
never stuck around when the fellas came around.
Right.
That's, I
It's a
mean, that's
given.
that's that's just a part of a female playing her position when it's time for her to play her position. And just like when the female friends come around, a man supposed to play his position. Okay, dude, we'll find you something to do and let the women have their time. You know what I mean? To chop it up. And at the same time, when the men is in there chopping it up, it wouldn't hurt for the wifey to come in and out, and check and see if him and his boys need something to drink or whatever the case may be, far as being a good housekeep. You know what I mean? I think that's how it should go. Of course, the men ain't gonna be going back and forth because the women don't want them in there no way.
Hey,
But I go back to the attire too. I'm not saying she had to have a church dress on and things like that, but there's just a certain way a woman is. When my boys are around, I don't want my girl, showing the goods and things like, you know, that's just me.
Right.
There's
Indeed.
nothing wrong with that at all.
All right, y'all. Well, we about to wrap this show up. As always, we appreciate our viewers for tapping into the Focus Up Show. We appreciate you guys. Continue to like and share, subscribe to the show, and as always, Mr. Walt, Mr. First Lady J, Mr. El Pooh,
You say, Mr. First Lady J.
Miss First Lady J, Miss First Lady J.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I did. My
I got
bad.
one more comment.
My bad.
Right, I would have made sure my man had all he needed: water, beer, to retreat to my space and leave and go do something for myself. All right, Terry Johnson.
All right.
We're on
So,
the same page.
and man, Mr. Floyd, I see he done tapped out early. But as always, I appreciate y'all tapping into the Focus Up show, and I think that's gonna make our show for this weekend.
And thanks for having me.
Indeed.
As always, have a safe week, y'all.
Stay focused.
Stay focused.